That's funny.
Hi, I'm Kathy, and welcome back to Cathartic Conversations podcast. And I want to thank you for joining us today. In the last couple of weeks, Cathartic Conversations has been focusing on the problems. Today, we're focusing on some of the cure. Today, we have a guest who has been a spiritual healer for over 30 years and a Reiki therapist for over 13. Today, she comes to share with us in detail about some of the benefits that come along with being a healer. Cathartic conversation. Please welcome Joanne Labastide to the show.
Thank you.
You're very welcome, Joanne. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
And I'm glad you made it.
Oh, yes, the weather cleansed the way with all that rain, so
Right,
we're here.
right. So, Joanne, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Um,
You are from East Orange, right?
I live in East Orange
Mm-hmm.
presently, but I'm from Trinidad and Tobago,
Yes.
and I've been to the US for the last 15 years.
Okay.
And as soon as I got here, I got into training, healing training, because that's what I did at home,
Mm-hmm.
among other things.
Okay.
I did catering, I did interior decorating and design.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm an artist on that side. So I've done a lot of stuff, but healing is seems to be my passion. Healing is where everything leads to.
That's great.
So I have
Mm-hmm.
to just take up that lead.
Okay. Well, my first question is what is holistic energy healing?
So we break down the words. Holistic is all around healing.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the healing that is done in our society, especially in the West,
Mm-hmm.
is symptoms. We deal with the symptoms and everything is divided.
Right.
But holistic takes the whole person into perspective. So you have the physical person, you have the mental,
Mm-hmm.
the emotional,
Right.
and the spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
Most times the spiritual is ignored because the spiritual is it seems like it is not related to the physical,
Yeah.
whereas we are spiritual beings
Mm-hmm.
and the physical is the vehicle in which we travel.
Mm-hmm.
So if that vehicle broke down, what do? We
Mm-hmm.
go to the doctor and we get medicine or so for the symptoms.
Right.
It is never examined to that degree where we understand this is coming from a deeper source, a deeper space.
Exactly.
Where are these ailments coming from? Where are these symptoms coming from?
Mm-hmm.
What the doctors do is just examine the surface. Okay, you have a toe pain, we deal with the toe. The toe pain might be connected to something that you cannot deal with, and you stub your toe
Right.
because there was something that you were annoyed with or something like that. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just little connections
Mm-hmm.
that the Eastern medicine, it's a whole medicine, so it's holistic medicine. Energy healing is just the universal life force
Right.
energy that we all possess.
Yes. Prana.
That
Right.
prana,
Mm-hmm.
chi,
Mm-hmm.
ki
Mm-hmm.
is the Japanese, chi is the Chinese, prana.
Right.
And there are many names in many cultures, but it's just that universal life force that we all possess.
Mm-hmm.
All living things that was created possess this.
Mm.
Everything.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
every tree, every plant, every animal, everything that was created
Mm-hmm.
contains a certain amount of energy.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well, that second question I was going to ask you, you tied it in with the first question because I
okay.
was going to ask you what spiritual principles steer your work.
Um, hmm. I was brought up in the Roman Catholic tradition. That's
Oh,
most of us
okay.
in the Caribbean.
Mm-hmm.
And I went over to African tradition, a mixture of African tradition,
Right.
which is called the spiritual Baptist in the Caribbean also.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, I tend to gravitate towards the African traditions.
Okay.
So like to Ifa and to any other.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think it's necessary to understand the rest. So
Yeah.
in Trinidad, because we are a multicultural society,
Mm-hmm.
I've been involved with Hinduism, with
Oh,
Islam.
okay.
When I came up here, Buddhism, Shinto.
Mm.
I even went to the Church of Scientology because
Wow.
I'm all about knowledge.
Right, right, right.
And I feel that no one is better than the next.
That's right.
every one of us really, something might suit this person and something might suit another person. And it depends on your level of understanding and development. And so, because some people have, some people have to be where they are.
Right.
And that's it, because that's the level of development. That's where they are present. In school, we have grade 1, grade 2, and then we have the higher levels.
Right.
Everybody cannot start at the same level.
That's true.
And everybody, so that's why no one is supposed to really look down on anyone else. Oh, you following this religion, or you following this. That's their level of understanding at that point in
yes,
time.
so we're all where we're supposed to be at this
yes,
specific
yes.
time. Okay. Well, how would you address a disrespectful person that's seeking help? Because like you just said, everybody's not on the same level.
Yeah.
But some people, I'm aware of some people, awareness is down,
Yes.
but they would like to try healing or something out. How do you discern who to help and who not to help?
Well, first I consult spirit. And the only people that I have to kind of stay at arm's length is with mental illness. And it's not that I don't understand it.
Interesting.
But it's also, it has a spiritual base. Mental illness has a spiritual base. And
it has its own energy,
yes,
correct?
It has its own energy. And so it's not all of them that I can deal with, but I have been told to stay clear of that. Because sometimes some people need to go through, we have to understand that also, some people need to go through the things that they are going through for their growth.
Right.
It may not seem so. It may seem like like an ordeal and a terrible thing, like when somebody's going through a mental illness. But we have to remember that they chose that existence to learn whatever particular lesson they came here to learn.
Right.
Or to balance their karma.
And you know what? Sometimes people don't understand that. Because I guess that's a thing that's been up for debate. That we choose our path before we get here. And that was when I read that and heard that in quite a few online shows. It made me curious because first I had to find out, how do we choose our path before we get here? And how do we get here and it's not something that we really want?
Okay.
And then I was thinking that we forget when we arrive. We already know, but we forget when we arrive because now we're taking on a human existence.
Yes.
Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
We are all spiritual beings, and we really dwell in the spiritual realm.
Right.
This is 3D. This is earth. This is experience. I call it. This is university. This is school.
Right.
So on the earth, we experience everything. The good, the bad, and the indifferent. So the reason for this is not as a punishment or a reward. It is ready for our growth. So a person who is suffering or came here, we would say blind or some what we call disability, they came here to experience life in that form.
Right.
For one or two reasons, because they haven't done it before, because we have to experience everything. Or maybe they did something in their past lives to hurt someone or to damage someone or kill someone or did something negative. Because we all feel the past life was so good and everybody was so sweet and angelic and what have you. But no.
That's not true.
No. We have done many things. We have been warriors.
Right.
We have been priests. We have been
murderers.
Kings. We have been murderers. We have been rapists. We have been abusers. So what we did to balance that, we come back in this life to be abused. We come back in this life to be murdered.
Wow.
A lot of children that are stillbirth, is actually people who are murderers. So they had to experience being killed immediately.
Wow.
So it's just a balancing. It's not like a punishment, really. It's a balancing of yourself. But it's for your growth, because the next time you learn better and you learn better and you learn better, and then you develop your stages, and that's how we reach to that enlightenment. Because we started at the bottom. We all did. Yeah. We all did.
Wow. So you say for our growth, is it our soul's growth?
Yes, our soul's growth.
Okay.
Our soul's growth.
All righty. Now, you did say you are a Reiki master.
Mm-hmm.
Can you describe Reiki to our viewers?
Reiki, again, is a universal life force that passes from the divine through the practitioner through our hands.
Mm-hmm.
We are initiated into this therapy.
Uh-huh.
And
What does it do?
What happens is, with an initiation, you have to be initiated by someone who is a master, Reiki master.
Mm-hmm.
There are symbols that are used.
Okay.
And there are different, should I say, different elements to it. So when you do a training in Reiki, for instance,
Mm-hmm.
you learn all about, besides the symbols, you learn all about energy, how energy flows.
Mm-hmm.
So you know the symbol of yin and yang.
Yeah.
You know that continuous flow of life.
Mm-hmm.
You follow those paths, and that is what creates that energetic flow.
Mm-hmm.
So we are made up of the aura also.
Right.
That's just the auric field.
Mm-hmm.
And most of our illnesses and most of our issues, they start outside of ourselves, they enter that auric field.
Yes.
Most times we feel it, we know it, we ignore it
Mm-hmm.
because we're not used to it.
Right.
So you
Right.
just have this feeling, and I don't know what's wrong, and I can't put my finger on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we ignore it for a while, and then it starts to enter the body.
Isn't that interesting? Yes.
And then when it enters the body now, we're like, oh my God, here it's hurting, there it's hurting, and I can't figure out what did I do,
Mm-hmm.
so on and so on. And then when it enters the body, if you don't take care of it
Mm-hmm.
on all levels,
Right.
not only a physical level,
Mm-hmm.
but most times we are trained and we are programmed to take care of everything on a physical level.
Mm-hmm.
So we go to the doctor, what's going on? He may not see anything, she may not see anything.
Right.
Well, I'm not getting anything, the test results are negative,
Mm-hmm.
but you still persist with this pain.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the doctors now are actually telling you, please go see your spiritual counselor, or please go see your priest, or please go see, some other therapy, because it could be in the mind, it could be psychosomatic,
Right.
it
Right.
could be you creating this for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
It could be something that is just on the esoteric field that
Mm-hmm.
came in because you didn't take care of it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So sometimes we constantly take care of ourselves by grounding,
Mm-hmm.
just meditation, being in nature,
Mm-hmm.
most important, being
Mm-hmm.
in nature,
Right.
and just keeping ourselves balanced
Mm-hmm.
with nature.
Okay.
But when we get caught up in life, we tend to get a little unbalanced.
That's
So
true.
that yes, so
Yes.
that is usually what causes us not to really go deep into our own healing.
Mm-hmm.
But with Reiki, what the practitioner does is just lay hands on the person,
Right.
not even touching.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we ask permission to touch, which is a very light touch, like an inch or so.
Okay.
But most times, and then that energy flows because we use the symbols that we are taught,
Mm-hmm.
and that energy flows through the practitioner to the person.
Okay.
And and to clarify,
Mm-hmm.
it's not our energy that is being used.
Mm-hmm.
It's universal
Thank
energy.
you. Thank you. I was
It's
about
not
to ask.
our energy.
Yes.
So some people say, oh, so you'll pick up this and pick up that from the person. No. The universal energy will go where it's needed,
Right,
and see about what's needed. That's how I like to put it. It
Right.
will take care of business. So if you have an emotional issue, for instance, and it's manifesting as an ache or a pain,
right,
that is what will take place. That energy will go to that area.
okay,
Some practitioners what we'll call empathic also,
mm-hmm.
so they may pick up information.
Right.
But some practitioners are not, and they just do the sequence,
Mm-hmm.
and it is done.
Okay.
They're not attached to it in any way, and it is done.
Mm-hmm.
But some of us could be empathic, and we pick up information about the person. We may pick up something that
negative or
negative or positive
mm-hmm.
that is causing issues also.
Right.
But it's really not our business to go all there, because that's God. God is handling it.
That's right.
God is handling everything.
Okay. Well, Joanne, let me give you a hypothetical.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to move forward in my life,
Mm-hmm.
but every time I try to move forward,
mm-hmm.
I keep on repeating the same cycle
mm-hmm.
over and over again. Now, I know that there's blockages.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you remove blockages And is blockages always trauma from our past or much more?
Blockages could take many forms.
Okay.
First to begin, when we repeat patterns,
Mm-hmm.
it's usually something we didn't pick up
Mm.
the last time.
Okay.
Something we didn't learn.
Mm-hmm.
Something we didn't we wasn't aware of, or something that wasn't clear.
Mm-hmm.
So we repeat the pattern.
Mm-hmm.
Blockages come from, we can block ourselves.
Okay.
We can block ourselves through doubt and fear
Mm-hmm.
and shame and guilt. Usually those feelings come from our past. Our past, not past lives even, but right here, from birth. When we're in the mother's womb, we pick up everything that she's feeling.
Yes.
So some of the issues are not even ours. It was hers.
That's interesting.
Yes, some of the
that
feelings
is interesting. Oh
was
my God.
her feelings. So she may have been abused. She may have been cursed at or isolated or, depressed or whatever. We feel it. In that uterus, we feel
and
it.
that
in the
child
womb.
will come out with depression.
The child would come out with different things.
Oh my goodness.
But the thing about it is the child will come out with these things in the subconscious. It may not be triggered in life as well as it may be triggered. Because if it's not triggered, the child will go through their own, their own journey unhindered.
That hit a nerve when you said that, because I remember being pregnant around the time that my mother passed away. So I was grieving.
There was grief.
And I feel like I see depression in one of my children that when I was carrying her, I was depressed. So that really resonated when you said that. Yeah.
Like you would see that child being like extra sad for no reason. You'd see that child just zone out and you can't understand, well, you don't have bills to pay yet. What's going on with you? But we pick up the information from our parents,
and
from
how
our mothers.
And how can that child transmute that out of their system? How can they get it out?
Well, again, energy would help. Energy healing would help. But what happens is that with the energy healing, you become aware of where that problem is stemmed from. So usually in, let us say, a Reiki session, a person may get the information that they feel this way towards their mother, they feel this way towards this, that, the other. And after the session, it goes. So it's not yours. It was not yours. This session it will clear up karmic past and debts, things like that. So you feel relieved, you feel light. And then if it's a empathic person, that discussion could take place as to why you were feeling what you're feeling. Say like, I don't really know. I just always felt this way.
Right.
But those feelings came up because it probably was from your mother or this or somebody, in that when you were in the womb. It could be from a friend too. It could be from the husband or whatever. Right. You just pick up information.
That's interesting.
Right? But if the information affects the mother in some way, it will translate. So like if the mother, I know children, the mothers were watching Young and Restless forever. Yeah. And when the child is born, on the time they hear that music, they're up because they know the sounds. This is why when women are pregnant, they tell you to nurture yourself with beautiful things and pleasant stuff and peaceful this and that, but it's not always possible. Yeah. So I know we will come with our stuff. Yeah. We will come with, information. But usually with a Reiki session, especially, these things are lifted. And they come up to the surface and then it is dealt with.
Wow, that's great. Okay, well, how long is a Reiki session?
A Reiki session?
It varies?
It varies. It really varies because I can tell you for me, I've had the experience where I just touch a person for like 5 minutes and they experience so much. Wow. Because that was the intention. Because it was a group scenario and I had a limited amount of time. So what I did was a group energy release and then I went to each person for less than 5 minutes. Wow. And the kinds of information I got afterwards, to me, mind-blowing. But usually on an individual basis, I would say half an hour to 3/4 of an hour. And then the other 15 minutes is for going through all of the things that we found and, the feelings and what came up
Right.
Because usually some people experience different things. Sometimes information would come up. They would ask me about it, and I could always get into it with them.
Okay.
So I tend to leave like about an hour for it.
Oh, okay.
But so help me, it goes longer than that sometimes.
Yes.
Because there's a lot to discover about yourself.
And how long does the results last? That varies also?
Yeah, that varies. If I would say energetic wise, it would last like a week or more. It could last, for a little while. And sometimes if that person has really bad issues, it could just last a day or two, a short time, because there is so much more to do.
Right.
So it all depends. Like if a person is a meditating person or a praying soul and stuff like that, it will last longer.
Oh, okay.
Because that like energy attracts like.
Right, right.
So it needs that energy, and it will help that person to, to unfold. You could even get dreams, visions with it. You can get what we call waking visions, like, epiphany, something. What?
Right.
So it depends on the person. I have done a lot of clients who don't even know about Reiki and who don't even believe in it. But they say, I'll try. And usually they walk away from it like astonished. Because they can't understand where is this coming
So
from.
they had to come into it open then.
Yes. So
to receive.
Yes. But what I'm saying is, even if you don't believe it and you open yourself to receive it, it doesn't matter.
It's amazing.
Yeah, because some people will say, like, oh, it's your belief that creates the results.
Exactly.
No, this isn't so.
Oh.
No, not with Reiki.
Oh.
Whether you
because it's coming from the divine.
It's coming from the divine. So it will work.
Okay.
It will work. It's not something that it's, that's iffy.
Right,
it's
right,
not
right.
iffy at all. It's not iffy.
Joanne, why do you think people are afraid of spirituality?
That is our upbringing. We have to understand that
they call it spooky.
It's spooky. The eras. Now, I like to put it like this: the powers that be, the people who were in charge of the masses, because you must have leaders and you must have followers.
Of course.
The people who are in charge of the masses, they know the deal, meaning they have had the information stored from the ancients. All this information is just there.
Right.
But what they decided to do or chose to do is hide it and control the masses with it. So how they did that control was tell them that what you're doing is bad. What you're doing is wrong. Even the drum was outlawed. Your way of praise, worship was outlawed. So we were brought up with whatever your ancestors did was horrid. It's bad, it's spooky, it's evil, it's everything else. And so generation after generation of that programming, we just developed that stage where from the time you say drums, no. If you say, let us say a crystal, no, I'm not getting there. Everything is a scare. So what we have to understand, we were controlled by fear.
That's true. I believe that.
And guilt. We would go to hell. We would go to this, that, the other. All so we were stopped from experiencing life. We were prevented from really being our true selves. So there is that guilt and shame about everything you do.
Right.
And so our parents instilled that, and the parents before them instilled that. But the parents before that, it was beaten into them.
Right.
We have to remember that. This way of life was beaten into our parents.
Yes.
So of course it's not natural. But what I love about life is that when life gives you a lemon, you make lemonade.
That's right.
So everything that was done to us, you notice it doesn't last long. Because we find a way to convert it. We find a way to make it work for us. Even the most negative.
Okay.
We find a way to make it work for us. But we have to be open to that.
Yes, we do.
We have to be willing to see another perspective.
That's true.
Like even with the COVID that took place. a lot of people, we saw the deaths, we saw the this, that, and the other, but also it brought people closer together.
Yes.
It drew some apart.
Mm-hmm.
And those who went apart is because there was issues there anyway.
It had to be there anyway.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
it was there anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But also, a lot of people realize there's more to life than just hustling and going crazy out there.
Mm-hmm.
More people begin to see, like, I'm in love with me. I'm starting to see about me. They don't even want to go back out to work.
That's wonderful.
Because it to me, it developed, a lot of new business came out. A lot of people, they started exploring their gifts.
Mm-hmm.
If it's art, if it's different things, they started to really explore themselves. So it was terrible, but it also created a lot of beautiful energy.
And so you do believe a lot of people woke up at this time?
Oh, please. To me, they probably wanted us to die and fall asleep. Totally, but a lot of people woke up. A lot of people woke up. To me, it was amazing. It was amazing.
Yes.
Because I always see the good side of everything.
That's good.
As bad as it is, I see the good side of everything.
So let's talk about evolution. And yes, let's talk about this new thing that's coming into fruition called artificial intelligence. Now, I seen a documentary, and the documentary was stating that artificial intelligence has its good points and its bad points. But I seen another documentary says that they're trying to X out God, because we're going to be dealing with robotic systems. We're going to be dealing with quick fixes where we don't have to think for ourselves. We don't have to use our conscience. We don't have to use our internal thing, because this machine is going to be working for us. We're going to have to program it to do everything. We could program it to lose weight. We could program it to for it to tell us how much money we want to make this week. We could program it, and it's going to get rid of so many jobs. What do you think of artificial intelligence, which they call AI?
AI.
And give me your honest opinion.
Okay, so it's the promotion, the messages that are sent out here concerning AI are deliberately sent to confuse us and to take away our power as everything else. A lot more people are awakening, right?
Right.
So what we have to do to counteract that, we're losing our grip on these people. We are losing our power. So we have to bring back that fear. So the new fear is AI. The new fear is, you're going to be robotic. You're going to be this, that, and the other. That's a new fear. Because the old fear no longer works. So we have to bring in something new.
Right.
We have become very lazy. Because I have friends that really prefer fruits without seeds because they don't want to spit anything out.
And that's hybrid.
That's hybrid. But what I'm saying is that we are attracting this.
Right. Okay. I got you.
We are attracting this. It is not out there. It is we who are attracting this.
I think we lose sight on that sometimes.
We are attracting this because we have become so lazy and we don't want to do anything for ourselves. We want a quick fix and what have you. But that comes from programming. And that programming is from those that are in control. So we are programmed through the media. You need this, that, and the other. Do you see the new ads with handheld devices, right? You would see a dinner table and everybody has a phone. You will see a living room. There's Wi-Fi in every room. So they're showing you that you need to separate your family, put everybody with an instrument, and so you no longer have to talk.
Yes.
So the people that create these systems, you have to understand, they don't want to lose that grip. They don't want to lose that power, that hold. But we are still in charge. We're still in charge of ourselves.
Right.
And if enough of us send that energy and that vibration out, it will be fixed. I have no doubt about that.
Right.
But when we move in fear, like some people tell you, I no longer watch the news because it's all a programming. They're telling you this. Now what I like is everything is coming out.
Mm-hmm.
All the lies are coming out.
Right.
Okay?
The
All
masks
the
have dropped. Yeah.
deception
The
is coming out.
masks
All
have
the
dropped.
mess. It has to come out because this is also the end of a cycle.
Right. Right.
So it's not even personal.
Mm-hmm.
It's the end of a cycle. So even though a person is here to do, let us say, what we call, I don't like to use the word bad, but I like to use the word negative in this respect because there are some who are negative and there are some who are positive. We have to coexist.
We do. We do.
There must be people who to aggravate the daylight, and there must be people who will balance that, who would, would soothe. So there is always that yin yang. There's always that friction, but it has to be balanced. So now we are feeling very much like if everything is out of balance.
Right.
It's only so because there is a change coming.
There's a change.
There's out of that chaos.
It's the recalibration, and it's a new earth.
It's we can destroy this. We feel we could do so much. We're just like a little ant on this place. We feel, we get ahead of ourselves. It's a lot. Everything is programming.
Yeah.
Because we live in the simulation. So everything is a program that has been run. But when we get back to our spiritual self, we are limitless.
Yeah.
Our creator. Unlimited. Limitless. We are the same. We have that in us.
Do you think big responsibility? And what I mean by that is we was given the whole earth. And I think we messed up along the way. And now it has to reset itself.
No, it's just cycles.
Oh, okay.
It's only cycles. Everything that is born must grow old and reborn.
Oh, okay.
Everything. Every single thing in nature.
So it's not that complicated.
It's not really that complicated. I think that people make this so heavy. No, that's okay because that's the way we are taught. We are taught that, I look at life cycles and I look at nature.
I do too. And you know what made me say that though, Joanne? Joanne, you know what made me say that though? Because now they're taking the bags out the stores. Why are you taking the bags out the stores? Because now you know that there's a problem. But you did, like you said, it was us who created them.
Yeah, we want everything convenient. Even the new bags that they're selling, we have 1 million in our houses already. Because we keep forgetting. Because we are not conscious. We don't move with a consciousness.
Exactly.
We don't move, we don't walk and talk with a consciousness. And that is our downfall. That alone is a downfall, nothing else.
Yeah, it is.
Once we become conscious of what is happening around us, we are each other's keeper. And
that was good.
We are each other's keepers. But the problem is the powers that be, and I like to put it like that,
right?
Because it's we who give them that power, we who give them that control. But they also, one of the ways that they continue to wield that power is to divide us. Because once we become together in our thoughts and our thinking and our living, it's a wrap. But we have to keep dividing these people. They must not be together. They must not, have the same ideas. They must not divide them. Every Monday morning, it's a new thing. And people are still falling for it.
Right.
It's because they refuse to think for themselves. We are so powerful.
But we don't know it, right?
Powerful.
But we don't even know it.
We haven't a clue. And it's not that we haven't a clue, actually, It's actually we forget.
Yeah.
We have been washed. We have been brainwashed about our power. We are so powerful. The power of the mind. A simple example I like to show is a person could get shot, right?
Right.
They're not even aware that they got shot.
Yeah.
Do they feel any pain?
No.
Why?
That's a good question.
A person would get cut. Do they feel any pain? No. As soon as they look at their hands and they see the blood, then the pain comes in. A person would have cancer and not know it for 5-6 years. The minute they go to the doctor and the doctor says, you have cancer.
That's when they're on the decline.
By the next week, you're sick, you're dying, and by the following month, you're gone.
Right.
Because that's the power of the mind.
That's the power of the mind. Yeah.
We can heal ourselves. We can do so many things. I feel that once we become aware of that, half the problems will just go.
That's
because once like minds
true.
start to get together and create a different vibration in this place,
Right.
the vibration level raises.
Mm-hmm.
But right now it's a very chaotic vibration, which is fine.
Yeah.
Because we need to go through chaos in order to give birth to something peaceful.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's going.
Mm-hmm. Now, Joanne, we jumped the gun because in the beginning, when I started the questions, I meant to ask you, how did you know and identify when you first realized your gifts?
Ooh, my gift came to me in a vision.
Mm.
I'm like the people of old, visions and dreams.
Mm-hmm.
I did a prayer and fast for like 7 days,
Mm-hmm.
and in one of the visions that I got, it was this gift was handed to me in my hands,
Mm-hmm.
and this is a statement I don't share very often, but I'm going to share it because this is the time for being really clear. The person said to me, "This is to heal the living dead."
Mm.
I didn't understand what it meant.
Right.
You know, there was time when they all had these zombies movies and this and that.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't that.
Okay.
We are all living dead right now.
Mm-hmm. I get it.
So that gift was given to me. I still didn't fully get it or understand it,
Mm-hmm.
but I was in church and it would come up
Mm-hmm.
and people would be healed by me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I like to put it through me.
And what age was you?
I was like in my 30s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And after a while, people started to come to me. It was a weird thing for me too because it wasn't something that I was accustomed with.
That's all about to ask you. Was you afraid of it at first?
Not afraid. There
Mm-hmm.
wasn't like a fear for it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that I didn't have the understanding of what was this about.
Okay.
But eventually, throughout the years, it developed.
Mm-hmm.
And what I used to do in the early stages was just anoint people and anoint, and it would work amazing miracles.
Mm-hmm.
But when I came up to the States and I went to do Reiki, I realized it's similar, but Reiki just had different symbols and things like that. So with the combination, this is why I say a Reiki session with me or a healing session with me could only be a few minutes.
Right.
It could be over the phone.
Mm-hmm.
I have clients all over the world. It really doesn't matter because time and space in the spirit realm does not exist.
Yes, yes.
So I'm able to really take care of anyone, anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I observe about myself throughout the years is that I develop a no fear. I don't fear anything spiritual because I've seen and heard and experienced some things that it is not for the faint of heart.
Did anybody ever accuse you of practicing witchcraft?
Of course.
And what did you tell them? How did you explain it to them? Or you didn't?
I told them that when Christ was here and he was performing miracles, there were those who called his miracles what? You know? So, and I know where my gift is from.
Yes.
So I know that I'm not dealing with the negative arts, but I'll tell you something. I have to handle it.
Right.
So that means I have to know it.
That's the truth.
You have to know everything. It's a balance again.
It's a balance.
You have to know everything. But my choice is not to do negative things.
Right.
Because one of the choices, we always have a choice. And there's a statement I make, what you nurture becomes your nature. Because we all have the good, bad, and the indifferent in us.
Yeah.
We all have it. Don't let anybody feel they're so pretty and they're so perfect. No way.
That's our shadow.
No way.
And we
That's
have
the ego.
We have to integrate it.
Yes. We have to balance again ourselves. So we have to know everything. And we do know everything. But once you start to align yourself with the divine, this is what I have noticed, and this is what is kind of true for me. Once you align yourself with the divine, the information comes. So in other words, you know the statement, when you're ready, the teacher will come. This is what happens with me.
Right.
So nothing before it's time, actually.
Okay. Well, let me see. That's how you found out you had your gift. Okay. And after the pandemic, did you have more clients than ever or what?
Well, actually, during the pandemic, during the pandemic, I had free sessions. Free virtual sessions.
Oh, that's sweet.
It was just to help.
That's sweet.
Just because I know people who's going through a lot. So every week I would have like free sessions. And it went on for quite a while.
And that was the next question.
Mm-hmm.
This is called Cathartic Conversations Podcast, and there's a bunch of people that are in need still after
Oh,
the pandemic.
totally.
Um, People have long COVID. They have discovered that um, they have phobias that they didn't even know they had.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Depression,
Yes.
suicidal.
Mm-hmm.
What would you tell the viewers who just happened upon this channel and see you on here? What would you tell them as encouragement and as something positive for them to go with?
Everything that happens in life, you have to see it from the perspective of who's putting it out there
Mm-hmm.
and what is their reasons. What are their reasons for
Right.
putting this out there?
Mm-hmm.
Now, even though we may have had a real illness,
Mm-hmm.
it was blown out of the water.
Mm-hmm.
We were manipulated by our emotions.
Right.
So we became fearful again.
Mm-hmm.
Fear is one of the greatest weapons of the powerful.
Yes.
So we became very fearful, and we became very anxious about feeling hopeless.
Mm-hmm.
Like we can't do this and we can't do that.
Right.
Not knowing that we really can.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand it because it was designed. The programming was designed
Mm-hmm.
to take away that feeling from us that we can do this, that, or the other. It was taken from us that we are in control,
Right.
because all they tried to do was control.
Mm-hmm.
The best thing for us would have been to be outdoors in the sunshine. They told us to stay inside.
Mm-hmm.
The best thing would have been to go by the beach, the seaside, and really absorb all that ozone and so on.
Yeah.
They told us stay away from the beaches.
Right.
So we have to understand the method in which they did it.
Mm-hmm.
They eroded our spirit.
That's what they did.
They
Mm-hmm.
attacked our spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And they know very well what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
So they attack our spirit, and we lose faith, we lose hope. And once you lose faith and hope,
That's
you
it.
feel helpless. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
You sink in depression.
Everybody's walking around with
Yes.
heavy energies.
Heavy energy.
Mm-hmm.
I actually do. It's interesting because wherever I go, I actually make a conscious effort,
Mm-hmm.
or should I say, I do it consciously
Mm-hmm.
to energize the area. Just
And I
put
appreciate
positive
Mm-hmm.
energy in the area.
Yes.
So most people don't even know that why, what, where, but I'm just feeling that they would be better.
Right.
But I energize there because I know that everything starts on the energetic level.
Yes.
So that's where I deal with it from. And that's where I handle it from.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yes. Joanne, do you think we're in the last days?
There's always a last day. There's always a last day. This is the end of a cycle
Mm-hmm.
approaching. It could take the next 10 years,
Right.
It seems like it's going to be tomorrow.
It does.
It could take the next 100 years. Time
It's linear. It's linear, right?
The way we know it is not how it is.
Right. Right.
So, yes, we are in the last days because it's our last days
Mm-hmm.
of getting certain things right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And this is why we are attacked even more.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
This is why we are attacked even more.
Uh-huh.
We are getting the messages through, like, what we call occurrences. People talk about the numbers, seeing sequences, seeing this, seeing, like getting like different messages.
Right.
And a lot of people are questioning that. Is that real? Is that another program? Is that what? A lot of the information and new stuff is programs too, eh?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it is programs too.
Mm-hmm.
Anything, let me put it this way, to differentiate what is a program.
Mm-hmm.
We are limitless beings, okay?
Right.
We are all powerful. We have everything in us
Mm-hmm.
that we need to survive. The planet provides everything that we need to survive. Anytime, anything can bring up fear in us,
Mm-hmm.
and shame and guilt that we can't do this and we can't do that, question it.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to one of, like, a new group that teaches about the chakras, for instance,
Mm-hmm.
and they tell you that you have to do this and you have to honor the teacher and you have to, like, certain musts.
Right. Right.
You have to question, isn't this supposed to be us? Isn't this supposed to be? So why are you forcing me to do this or forcing me to do that?
Mm-hmm.
You have to question.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that brings out fear in you or have you controlled by fear,
Mm-hmm.
question it.
Question it.
Question it.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the information now, a lot of it is fear mongering.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it is fear. Even on the social media platforms,
Right.
they ignite because we are emotional beings too.
Mm-hmm.
Once we take birth, we get emotional. We get very, emotional about things, and we are here. So
Mm-hmm.
we are emotional beings, and people know how to pull and trigger. So they will put a piece of information here for you, and they put the information there for you,
Mm-hmm.
and that triggers you,
Mm-hmm.
and you go off the deep end because you didn't think it through.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
it's just that we have to take back our power.
Right. Right.
That is what we have to do. Take
Mm-hmm.
back our power.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of us feel like powerless right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because all the fear that is being pushed on us.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you wouldn't have money just now. Everything is changing from the dollars and this and that and the
Right.
other.
Right.
And everything is the AI and what have
So
you.
it's like a pandemonium panic kind of
Yes,
thing
yes,
starting to set in.
yes.
But could you imagine if we knew everything that was really going on? That's just the
Once we
scrape of the
open,
surface.
yes, it's like,
It's a lot of stuff that's being
it's a
hidden that
lot
we
of
don't know.
stuff that is hidden.
Mm-hmm.
But strange enough, if you go into that alignment stage, if
Mm-hmm.
you go into alignment with the divine, if you go into that alignment with God, things will reveal to you how to
Yes.
function, how to live, how to relate to everyone
Well,
else.
describe to my viewers how do you start that? Because Joanne, it's really
Oh,
troubling.
it's tough.
It's
It's
really
tough.
troubling to me that these kids are taking their lives before their life path even begins.
Yes.
And I know sometimes, like you said in the beginning, it might be karma,
Mm-hmm.
but those that's not karma
Mm-hmm.
and they just can't take the pressure
Mm-hmm.
because the pressure is so different today than it
Yes.
was
Yes.
5 years ago.
Yes.
What can you tell a person that would like to start opening up and getting their awareness up? How do you begin that journey?
To begin that journey, you have to stop listening to the news and give social media a little break. You have to go back in nature. You have to take walks in the parks. You have to walk barefoot on the earth. You have to walk by the beach. You have to leave that phone alone for a minute. Leave the electronic devices alone for a bit. If you can test yourself with that,
Mm-hmm.
you have a chance. But
Okay.
once you continue being energized by what is online and what is there and all this information that is coming in and out,
Mm-hmm.
you will be lost.
Mm-hmm.
And once you feel lost, you will continue going for that fix.
Mm-hmm.
And once you continue going for that fix, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
You feel you can't cope. I'm not beautiful enough. I'm not tall enough. I'm not short enough. I'm not fat enough. I'm not thin enough. My eyebrows need to go this way. My lips need to go that way. I need to,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's too much. It's
Mm-hmm.
a bombardment of information
Yes.
on our young minds.
Mm-hmm.
And young minds were just meant to play and enjoy the environment.
Mm-hmm.
They need to be out there
Mm-hmm.
exploring and building things using their imagination.
Mm-hmm.
Everything now is no imagination.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is imagined for them.
Oh wow. Yes. Yes.
Everything is imagined for them.
Okay.
And that
So
is craziness.
I'm walking. I'm a youth. I'm walking out in nature.
Mm-hmm.
I'm listening to the birds. I'm sitting under a
Mm-hmm.
tree and looking at YouTube's um, meditation videos.
Mm-hmm.
And they're telling me to go within. What is go within?
Go with the what?
Go within.
Oh, go within. Go within simply means shutting out everything outside and thinking about you.
Mm.
Regardless of what we go through in life,
Mm-hmm.
that inner consciousness is always there.
Right.
So and usually people have to close their eyes to really shut off everything else. Because if you keep your eyes open, you're going to see something that is going to distract you.
Mm-hmm.
We are easily distracted.
That's
right
true.
now, we are like little babies. 5 minutes and we're done with this. 5 minutes and this toy is no longer valid. 5 minutes and So because that conditioning is upon us,
Mm-hmm.
to go within, you would really have to close your eyes and really breathe.
Mm-hmm.
Just do some deep breaths and just settle in with yourself. and make the intention known.
Right.
That I want to contact me. I want to be at one with me. I want to find out who I am.
Right.
And once you create those, you make those intentions known to God, I put it like to the universe, the answers will come.
Yes.
The energies will come. Someone will come with a message. Something will come with a vibration that, wow, that would spark that life back into you.
Okay, so when that messages come, am I listening through here or am I listening through here?
The heart.
Okay.
The heart. The head is a confusing place. It has its purpose.
Stay away from there, right?
Yes. No, don't stay away. But
at that time,
yes, at that time, go to the heart because the heart knows. The heart knows what the heart knows.
See?
The gut knows what the gut knows.
Yes.
The gut is always right.
Always
right. We say the first brain is in the gut.
The
gut knows what is going on with you. And usually we're in a situation, we know it's bad for us. We know it's wrong. We know it's heavy. We know this, that, but we still go because we are influenced.
Right.
So when we go and we follow that, when something bad happens, you're like, you know me, I should have followed my gut instinct. I should have followed my inner self. I should have followed my first thought. We are always guided properly.
Yes.
Always. We are never out of guidance. But because we have allowed something else to distract us to that degree,
right?
That's it. So it's not very difficult. One of the things that the youth, you would see a lot of them with the drugs, they're using the drugs as an escape also.
Yeah, to numb them, right?
They numb them. But you know what is interesting? Who's providing the drugs? It's not the youth making their own drugs.
Yeah.
Who's providing the drugs? It's always these big companies and these heads. They are providing it for us to kill ourselves almost. They're providing everything for us to get rid of ourselves.
Right, right.
They don't even understand their purpose.
No,
their purpose is to create fiction, yes.
Empower.
But their purpose also is not to totally annihilate everything.
Right.
So they also need a little lesson in that kind. But I think what happens with us is that absolute power could corrupt absolutely because you feel it's your power.
Right.
They feel it's their power.
Right, right.
They don't understand it's what they're allowed. And there will come a time when that will not be allowed.
Yeah. Hopefully, yes.
Oh, not hopefully.
It will come. I know.
Because it's just nature is like that. Nature will balance itself.
Sure it will. I believe it will. And guess what? We've come to the end.
You're serious.
We've come to the end of the broadcast.
Yes, yeah.
And Joanne, I have created this board for each of my guests who comes on my show to put their signature on the board and put a quote or a word of hope and perseverance.
Yes.
Would you have the honors of signing my board and put anything you like under your signature that represents hope and perseverance to you?
Okay.
And speak it aloud so the universe could catch it.
Yes, I will.
And let it flow.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Where was your board? Here.
Right there.
We are limitless beings.
Oh, wow. That's great. We are limitless beings. Thank you, Joanne.
When we remember that.
When we remember that.
All will be well.
I like it, Joanne. And I want to thank all our viewers for watching, and thanks Joanne Labastide for coming to Cathartic Conversations podcast. My name is Kathy, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.